The next one is like a pretty convoluted topic that most people hate. What is the concept behind Eisenmenger syndrome? Can anyone tell me? Because this is something like cracks most people up. Like, what is Eisenmenger syndrome? Like, how does it happen? Yeah, exactly. So see, um, if you have a if you have an untreated shunt, specifically left to right shunt, like e.g. left to right shunt, for example ASD, VSD, whatever, okay, or PDA, over time. So see, the it's like a new point to know. If you have like a left to right shunt, you're going to be receiving more blood on the right side because blood is coming from the right atrium, from like the inferior vena cava, superior vena cava, and it's also coming from the ventricle or the atria on the opposite side. So the right ventricle has more preload. Okay, it's like it has to deal with more pressures. Over time, the right side of the heart and lungs receive too much blood, which is difficult to manage by the pulmonary arteries. What do the pulmonary arteries do? They undergo hypertrophy of the media, okay, leading to pulmonary hypertension. Now yours starts slowly. Usually you should know that physiologically the pressure on the left side is greater than the pressure on the right side of the heart. Now you're going into an era where you are going to have high pressures over the right side and lower pressures on the left side comparatively. Okay, don't worry about this. I'm gonna send the meeting link again, okay, after the class ends. So the idea is that due to the high pressures on the right side, the left to right shunt will reverse to right to left shunt, meaning more deoxygenated blood is going to the aorta and vital organs, and you will see the onset of cyanosis. Okay, so the buzzword that I remember, buzzword, untreated ASD, VSD, PDA presenting with cyanosis. This is the biggest giveaway you can think of Eisenmenger syndrome. ASD, VSD, PDA, they themselves can never ever cause cyanosis. That's why in first year they've written on the top acyanotic congenital heart diseases. But when Eisenmenger happens, and it's like basically completely physiologically correct, from the right side of the heart you have deoxygenated blood. So when you're sending deoxygenated blood, you're going to have cyanosis. And remember, when you want to evaluate someone for cyanosis, always look at the lips and the fingertips. Okay, recently in the ICU we had a patient that came from another ward, and his tracheostomy tube was blocked, and he came with like a nasty cyanosis, and he eventually died. So his mouth was completely blue and his fingertips were completely blue, and he had a saturation of 20 or 30%. Okay, is this clear? So very good point, very good point. The specific timeline, I've not studied this in USMLE, so this is something I studied in a Bailey, that's like a huge surgical book. They've written the cut off for fixing ASD, VSD, PDA must be before 2 years of age. Okay, after 2 years of age, the pulmonary arteries undergo irreversible changes, and then you can do nothing about it. Once it undergoes that hypertrophy, you can do nothing about it. Okay, don't please believe this for USMLE. This is something I just studied during my final year of medicine. Okay, in USMLE they literally give you like a 10-year-old child and it doesn't matter. Okay, one thing I want to bring to your attention. So if you ever see a patient with long term, and they don't specify long term left to right shunt, it could be anything, and cyanosis started, but it's more pronounced in the lower extremities. What are you thinking here? What type of a shunt was this? Like, this was secondary to what? PDA. Excellent. So the concept here is basically differential cyanosis. Differential cyanosis means cyanosis more pronounced in the lower extremities as compared to the upper extremities. Extremely high yield point. Okay, you're gonna see cyanosis in all three, ASD, VSD, PDA, But if they're trying to point you towards, doctor, the patient has more cyanosis pronounced in the toes or whatever, directly think of PDA. This is a huge giveaway. And don't forget the buzzwords for PDA. Okay, continuous machine like murmur over the infraclavicular area. This is something I've seen on NBME. It's not on UWord, but they love giving it over the infraclavicular area. Okay, and PDA is strongly associated with congenital rubella. So it's like a triad of PDA plus cataract plus sensory hearing loss. Okay, and I wanted to say something else. If a newborn has PDA, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Excellent. Indomethacin or naproxen. Okay, so you need to remember this, that in utero the ductus arteriosus is kept patent by the combo of low O2 tension and high PGs. If it's open after birth, you can target the PGs by giving NSAIDs. Okay, but another convoluted concept, if a newborn has, let's say, transposition of great arteries and the baby has nasty cyanosis, what do you want to do to buy time so that you can get the baby into the OR and fix the defect? Anyone? So basically you're gonna have to, mainly you can open up ASD, VSD, PDA, but basically you have to maintain PDA by giving prostaglandin analogs, like it could be apoprostenol. Okay, is this clear? Congenital heart defects, I've always received quite a lot of complaints on my feedback form. That is one of the weirdest topics. Is this clear? Does anyone have any question here? Are we good to go with the next point? Okay. Then AKI plus blue toe plus lacy like rash over the lower extremity.